Sister City program came about through a number of conversations I had with various people, specifically Cecil Cupp Jr., who back in the 80s, I believe, had worked with some chamber people about the possibility of Hot Springs obtaining a sister city. Local attorney at the time, Stan Miller, who now lives in Little Rock, he was interested in the program, and then a lady by the name of Maggie Skinner, who was back in the early 90s and late 80s, was really involved in community affairs here. So the three of us basically kicked around the idea and presented the idea to the Chamber of Commerce, and from there things just took off, and we were courted by Hanamaki in 1992. They had hired an agency to scout out a sister city in the United States. By then it was known in the sister city community that we were looking for a sister city, so they sent a delegation over in early 92, February I believe it was, and then we were invited over in September of 92. And it was a very formal visit. We were all caught off guard as to how important Hanamaki was taking this courting process, and so it was a very tense time. We were all very nervous, trying to be on our best behavior, and it's quite different from the last exchange we were on, where it's more relaxed and more a situation for me of going back to visit old friends. So that's been the evolution, is just those of us involved with the program getting to know each other better and making new friends.
After more than 13 hours in the air, the delegation from Hot Springs finally arrived at Tokyo's Narita International Airport. We'd spend the entire next day visiting some of Tokyo's most famous sites and getting just a small taste of modern Japanese culture. Tokyo is said to be nearly a match for New York City, both in size and energy. More than 12 million people live in this city, almost 10% of Japan's total population. For the 10th anniversary of the sister city relationship between Hot Springs and Hanamaki, 20 people made the trip from Hot Springs. From right to left are Dennis Smith, Ann Hare, Jay Cheshire, Rick and Margaret Henry, Elaine Jones, Sam Stanich, Ormel Sabo, Lance and Doris Hudnall, Bill Andrews, Susan Woolridge, Wiley Elliott, Mayor Mike Bush and his wife Ruby, Les Warren, Gwen and Cecil Cupp, and Rita Shapinski. And, of course, myself there at the bottom. Owning a car in Japan is a little bit different proposition than in the United States. Not only is gas often more than $4 a gallon, but the government imposes strict emissions regulations and licensing standards. Even though there are many fundamental cultural differences between Japan and the U.S., you can't help but notice a little bit of the good old USA creeping into Japanese culture. Most people in Tokyo tend to walk, ride bikes, or take public transportation. Still, the city is in an almost constant state of gridlock. This is what morning rush hour looks like at Shinagawa Station. During Tokyo's rush hours, more than 5 million people use the city's public transportation. There are 13 subway and train lines, thousands of buses, and even more taxis. The trains get so full, special railway employees literally push passengers into the cars, packing them in like sardines in a can. At the beginning of our second full day in Japan, it was finally time to head to Hanamaki. We'd be traveling by bullet train. The bullet trains, or Shinkansen, connect Tokyo to almost every major city in Japan. The Tokaido line, which goes west to Osaka, was the world's first high-speed train line when completed in 1964. This is really a great way to travel. Although the view is often blocked by a retaining wall, you can still really get a good sense of the landscape. And at more than 200 miles per hour, there's no comparison to any other mode of land transportation. After the 3-hour train ride, we arrived in Hanamaki. City officials, including Mayor Watanabe, and several citizens who would serve as our interpreters during the week to come, greeted us at the station. Several members of our delegation recognized friends from previous trips. We also got our first look at Hanamaki City Government's Mikoshi, or portable shrine that would be carried in the festival parade to come. After leaving the train station, we headed by bus to the Kenji Miyazawa Ihatov Center for a rundown of our itinerary and to formally meet our hosts and helpers. Next, we were off to the Kenji Miyazawa Memorial Museum to learn more about Hanamaki's most famous resident. Kenji is one of Japan's most famous writers and poets. He was born and raised in Hanamaki and based most of his art around his love of the region. The name Ihatov, which is seen and heard all over Hanamaki, is essentially Kenji's dreamland, but based on the reality of Hanamaki in Iwate Prefecture. This world in which Kenji's imagination sprang to life existed far off in the Milky Way, another common theme in his work. Besides writing, music, and art, Kenji was also a scientist. A graduate of Morioka High School for Agriculture and Forestry, he spent a great deal of time studying geography, biology, and chemistry. He also became interested in physics and the work of Albert Einstein, which inspired his works dealing with space and alternate dimensions. After deciding against a career in the manufacturing of jewelry, he became a teacher. After only a few years, Kenji left his classroom and devoted the rest of his professional life to helping the poor farmers of the area. He spent the last years of his life educating the local farmers, as well as developing new fertilization and cultivation methods. He died in 1933 of tuberculosis. He was only 37 years old. It wasn't until 1934, a year after his death, that Kenji finally found recognition for his work. In his short lifetime, he created more than 800 poems, 500 children's stories, and more than 1,000 tanka poems, haikus, songs, plays, short stories, paintings, and garden designs. The unifying theme in all of Kenji's work is the relationship between humanity and nature. This theme is brought to life perfectly in the Dower Mura, Kenji's dreamland. This modern park is a living, hands-on representation of Kenji's art. The Fantastic Hall, which at first seems like it could be a set piece from 2001, is actually a clean, non-distracting environment to sit and view images of some of Kenji's favorite places in Hanamaki and Iwate. In the Sky Hall, it's as if you're looking down on Ihatav as you fly above. The Earth Hall forces you to change your perspective, as you're now the size of an ant. Here, several small dioramas represent some of the characters and situations from Kenji's most famous works. After a tiring day of travel and sightseeing, it was time for a little relaxation at the onsen, or hot spring resort. The September Grand Sumo tournament had just started in Tokyo and seemed to dominate the Japanese world of entertainment. 6 tournaments in 4 venues are held each year. Each tournament lasts for 15 days. Sumo is a very old sport, rich in history and tradition. In fact, the first written records mentioning sumo date back to the 8th century. The nice thing about watching sumo on television is that you don't even have to speak Japanese to enjoy it. Now it was time to formally meet with Mayor Watanabe and go before the entire Hanamaki City General Assembly. ホットスプリングス市と花巻市の姉妹都市の絆が一層強く結ばれることを願って歓迎のご挨拶といたします。
We hope that with this visit, our sister city relationship ties will be strengthened.
In Japan, the hierarchy of leadership is something everyone respects. Any elected official, including Mayor Bush, is treated with the utmost respect by everyone.
My turn. On behalf of the citizens of Hot Springs, National Park, Arkansas, we thank you for inviting us to your magnificent city as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of our sister city relationship. We are honored by your hospitality and so impressed by the warm welcome which we are receiving by everyone in Hanamaki.
The Hanamaki form of city government is actually quite similar to ours, with an elected mayor and city representatives.
昨年10月、ホットスプリングスのコンベンションセンター内に設置されました花巻コーナー開設式典に出席するため、私がホットスプリングス市を訪問した際に、マイク・ブッシュ、ホットスプリングス市長並びにデニズ・スミス姉妹都市基金会長に姉妹都市提携10周年を記念し、花巻祭りへの訪問を招請いたしたところであります。
We are now presented by Mayor Watanabe, our hanten, or happy coats, which we would wear during the Hanamaki Festival. This is the part of City Hall that most of Hanamaki citizens see every day. People come here to pay taxes and other city-related fees. Then it was back on the bus. This is the International Exchange Office, the office that handles most of the goings-on between Hanamaki and Hot Springs. Here, students, or really anyone who's interested, can come to learn more about Hanamaki's sister city in Arkansas.
Well, the benefits of the Sister City program really are reaped on a person-by-person or individual basis, but what the Sister City program does is allow a platform for interested individuals living in Hanamaki or in Hot Springs to get to know their respective sister cities. And they can do so by traveling to the sister city or exchanging emails or any other method of communication.
Third grade, we sent them with a gift. So he got to go out and report.
Photographs from past visits, as well as other memorabilia, are literally everywhere.
We can't get enough on that.
This was also our first chance to get online and check for some news back home. Of course, the first site everyone went to, let's just say it didn't take much contemplation.
My other big thing, of course, being a retired teacher, is the impression of the schools and how disciplined the students were and how glad they were to see us, but they made sure their instructors or their teachers, they didn't do anything they didn't want them to do. And then the other thing that impressed us so much is the fact that they don't have janitors or cleanup people. The kids do this, and I guess that's an incentive to keep your school clean if you're the one that's going to have to do it in the, that afternoon.
In order to get a better understanding of the Japanese education system, we visited several schools, including Hanamaki Higashi High School, which is sister school to Lakeside High School in Hot Springs.
いわゆる国旗が3色ということで、赤と白とこういうことで、心から歓迎をいたします。よってこれより歓迎の会を始めさせていただきます。よろしくお願いします。
As you can see on the board, we've written you a welcome in the three colours of the US flag, red, white and blue. So that's our heartfelt welcome.
But all the citizens of Hot Springs, particularly Lakeside School, we say thank you very much for your relationship.
皆様
Hanamaki Higashi High School is a private school with about 600 students. The students generally study the same subjects as American high school students.
My name is Natsumi Sato.
Hey, good to see you. My name is Mike Bush.
Oh.
市長さん。市長さん。
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. 冷蔵庫とかにつけるでしょうね。マグネット。
これ冷蔵庫つけよう。ありがとうございます。
What? Your name?
My name is Rie Sato. Oh, thank you.
My name is Emina Takahashi.
Oh.
My name is Tomoko Chikuo.
My name is Mahinda Mayama.
Nice to meet you all. Okay? Thank you. Yeah. Y'all go back.
These are mean pigs. Wise for her.
Athletics play a very important role at Hanamaki Higashi. Students can participate in such sports as baseball, swimming, gymnastics, and kendo, among many others. In order to pass down cultural heritage, the intricacies of the tea ceremony are also taught.
It gets the knees, doesn't it? So, we also have this for people who wouldn't be able to sit down and do the tea ceremony.
After that, in 1105, Motohira, the Fujiwara family, were in power only 4 generations.
Our tour guides were unbelievable. They explained everything to us, not just a little bit of it, but everything was explained to us. They were with us from the time we got up in the morning until it was time for us to go to bed. They stayed with us the whole day. Everything we wanted to know about food, about clothes, anything, they were there for us. And I would love to see our people treat them that way when they come here. One thing that really stood out was Buddha and the Golden Temple. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Hisako, good morning.
The ancient Shusonji Buddhist temple complex is in the town of Hirazumi, which is a small town just outside of Hanamaki.
Like a whale or something.
Although a very small town, in the 12th century the region was Japan's leading producer of gold. In the late 11th century, the Fujiwara family settled in the Hirazumi area and became rulers of northern Japan. Since then, 3 generations of the family lived there until they were overthrown in 1189. The Chusonji Temple was originally built in 850 AD, but was rebuilt by the Fujiwara family in the 11th century. The finished temple complex contained more than 40 temples and shrines. However, when the Fujiwara family was unthroned, the temple complex was destroyed in a fire in 1337. The only building to survive the fire was the Golden Hall of Chusonji Temple, which is now a national treasure. The tea ceremony is an ancient Japanese custom to greet honored guests. Every movement and action is deliberate and meaningful. The ceremony has changed very little, if at all, in many hundred years. Food, often sweets, is served before a bitter green tea prepared ritualistically by the host. After the tea ceremony, the entire delegation attended a reception where we were able to meet and mingle with not only city officials, but also with many regular citizens of Hanamaki.
The mayor of the city he and his wife, son and daughter, we were blessed to be around them. They treated our mayor like he was a king. We had to remind him when he got on the plane that we were on our way back home, and he couldn't be treated the same way as he was treated there. He was treated above the rest of us, but every one of us was treated with a lot of kindness.
島と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 10th anniversary Sister City Relationship and Hot Springs City Welcome Reception. I am Kenji Nakashima, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies tonight.
を歓迎する交流パーティーに多くの方々のご参加を賜り、心から感謝申し上げます。
First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to everyone gathered here tonight to welcome Mayor Mike Bush and the delegation from Hot Springs City.
This occasion marks the third time that the mayor of Hot Springs has visited Hanamaki. I'm pleased to report that our city government supports the city program and has, each year, expanded its role in developing the relationship between us.
Every year, the Sister City Foundation sponsors at least 2 teachers, hopefully 3, depending on what our budget can allow, to send the teachers to Hanamaki, Japan for a week. The teachers have to apply for it, giving their reasons why they're interested in the program and what they think they can do with it once they return. And this year, we've done something a little bit different. This is 2003. We're resending one teacher that's already been. She was one of the original teachers that went. She has done a tremendous amount of work for the program and to help the students, and has made, when the students come here, has really made them feel comfortable and integrated programs within her school at Lakeside High School. It was Kathy Roberts, the biology teacher. And so she's going back this year with additional 2 night stay in Tokyo, like what the delegation has done before. Plus, there are 3 other high school students going with her, and 1 other citizen that's going to go along with her on the trip. But the goal is that we feel like the teachers can teach our children about the cultural differences versus sponsoring kids going every year, which we hope to do that someday. But right now, we feel like the most benefit everybody can gain for learning about Hanamaki would be sending teachers every year.
Also, in this school, there are 17 classes.
でこの学校にはですね、知的障害と情緒障害の学級が1クラスずつあるんです。
There's also handicap classes for the handicapped.
Okay.
At Hanamaki Junior High, we were able to visit a few classes, where aside from the uniforms, things really didn't seem too different than an American classroom. All of the students seemed genuinely excited to have us visiting their class, and the fact that a TV crew from the local Iwate Broadcasting Corporation had come along to tape the entire day's visit probably helped the situation altogether.
Yeah. その前がこれですね。これは50年
15 years ago.
Yeah. See the snow, huh? They have heavy snow here in the wintertime. Yeah. And that must have been the first, one of the first years. Okay.
The process is different, very different.
Yeah.
The hairstyle is different.
Yeah. Clothes too. Years ago.
Hanamaki Junior High had all the facilities you'd expect to see at a junior high school, including a library, a home economics class complete with cooking equipment, and a shop class complete with all the hardware and power tools and half-finished projects you'd expect to see in an American school. Of course, just as at the high school, athletics play a very important role in junior high education.
で、2学期の最初、始業式の日にみんなにやりましたが、3つの C。チャンス、チャレンジ。
Enjoy school life. Each of us join to each club and practice is very hard every day. So all of our clubs won the championship in this area this year, especially.
It's a real honor and privilege for not only myself and my wife, but our whole delegation from Hot Springs, Arkansas, to be in your city.
私と、奥さん、ルビさんが一緒にここに来れてすごく光栄です。で、この町に来てとても嬉しいです。
We appreciate the respect that we've been given, and we will give you that same respect if you'll come to see us in our city of Hot Springs.
This is what PE class looks like in Japan. Many forms of Japanese martial arts, including kendo, as seen here, and judo are taught to Japanese children from a very early age. Kendo means literally the way of the sword, and is based in the ancient art of samurai swordsmanship, although it bears little resemblance to the current form. Modern kendo is purely a sport called Shinai Kyogi. Kendo is taught as a means of instilling discipline, patience, athleticism, as well as building character. Students of kendo wear heavy padded armor and use either bamboo or other hardwood swords. Points are awarded for hits to the sides, the top of the head, the wrists, the torso, and the throat. The attacker must call out the name of the point struck as he attacks in order to be scored. The judge also has to verify the attack before a point can be awarded. 2 points wins the match.
Left.
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 Right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Mayor Bush volunteered to get some first-hand experience in this ancient art.
Hey!
You okay?
What? That have hard stuff up there? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see if I can get it.
One more.
You don't feel that? On the hand. On the hand? Does that hurt? Hurt? Yeah.
どうってみ。じゃあ、はい、はい、いいよ。軽くどうぞ。どう。
While he may have been a pretty good baseball player, Mayor Bush was obviously in trouble against this 15-year-old.
I stopped.
One of the more interesting aspects of martial arts in Japan is that boys and girls are equals. Often, boys and girls will spar against one another in one-on-one combat. In the martial arts, a strong body isn't as important as a strong mind.
Everybody get a pen?
And a pencil.
And a pencil?
Do we have an app?
Everybody get one? Did you get one?
Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody get the pizza.
Good morning.
Okay. Y'all going to Hot Springs, Lakeside? Okay, good. The three of you?
No, I'm not.
You're not going?
No, only
These two?
two students.
When are they going? When are y'all going to Hot Springs?
Next
January.
January.
January?
Yes.
How long will you stay?
Maybe 17 days.
11 days.
11 days.
Yeah.
That's great. Have you ever been to Hot Springs before?
行ったことありますか？
No.
Have you ever been to the United States before?
アメリカには？
Oh, you're in for a good thrill. That's great. Glad to have y'all come into our community.
My name is Kenji Gokon. I belong to the tennis club. I'm so excited because we have competition 3 days from now. I'm looking forward to going to the hot springs. I want to learn cultural differences between American and Japanese customs. And I want to make a lot of friends there.
Good.
You will.
You will.
This is good.
Yeah. Great.
This is Ayano.
Diana? Yeah. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ando Ayano. I'm 14. I belong to class 2 of the 8th grade at Hanamaki Junior High School. In my class, I'm a sub-chairman. Our homeroom teacher's name is Takahashi Emi. She's a homemaking teacher. She's very nice. So we are having a very good time every day. I belong to the brass band club, so I play the oboe. We are playing hard for regular concert. I'm looking forward to visiting to Hot Springs City next January. I'm particularly interested in difference of culture, and I want to hear the life and opinion of the same junior high school students. So I want to compare myself. In the future, I want to have a job that I can share by music with people of around the world. Please enjoy the Hanamaki Festival that will start from today. Thank you.
Thank you.
The pressure was on. It was time for us to participate in the Wonko Soba eating contest. Every year in Iwate, there is a national Wanko Soba eating contest, while other cities and restaurants hold smaller contests of their own. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, what is Wanko Soba? Actually, it's nothing more than buckwheat noodles. An attendant with trays of large bowls of noodles stands before the contestants, keeping their bowls full. Each bowl is actually about a mouthful, but the amount can be deceptive. The trick is not to drink the broth and to pace yourself. Most gave up around 50 or 60 bowls, but eventual champ Bill Andrews finished off 100, and translator Nadia Takahashi finished 72. Bill claims he could have gone another 50, but didn't want to embarrass anyone.
I'm 60, yeah.
Right.
今日のチャンピオンはなんとびっくりしました。
We were very surprised.
なんと丼で10杯分です。100杯召し上がっていましたビル・アンドリース様でございます。
To symbolize the relationship between Hot Springs and Hanamaki, a commemorative magnolia tree was to be planted at Kenji's dreamland.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 10th anniversary of the Hot Springs Sister City Relationship Memorial Tree Ceremony.
はじめに渡辺努花巻市長からご挨拶を申し上げます。
First of all, I would like Mayor Watanabe of Hanamaki City.
木であります。拳の木であります。この拳は宮沢賢治の作品にある樹で早春純白の花をつけ、清楚で樹形は太く悠々しく、花巻市の気候風土に適し、市民に親しまれている木であります。
We look forward to seeing how tall this tree's grown in a couple of years when we come back to visit you again.
また再び私たちがこの地を訪れる時にはこの木がもっともっと背が高くなって元気に育っていることを見ることを楽しみにしております。
We pledge our continued support to the city of Hanamaki and to our relationship, and we look forward to the rest of the week. Thank you very much.
Over the course of our last 2 days in Hanamaki, we were all able to experience what would definitely be the highlight of the trip for everyone, the Hanamaki Festival. The Hanamaki Festival is held every year on the second weekend of September. According to local history, the first festival was held in 1613 when the townspeople held a parade to honor the Lord of Hanamaki Castle. The festival starts on Friday with dancing and music. The kagura is an ancient spiritual music and dance performance. The themes are taken from stories of myth and legend. The musicians and dancers try and please the spirits to ensure good luck for the year to come. Thousands of people from Iwate Prefecture and beyond line the streets of Hanamaki every year to view the spectacle of the festival to come. Throughout the 3-day festival, one song is played almost continuously. The Hanamaki Bayashi is specific to the city, although it's derived from the Gion Bayashi of Kyoto. Flutes and stringed samasan play the melody, accompanied by the voices of the festival participants, and bass and snare drums keep the time. Literally hundreds of people play the Hanamaki Bayashi simultaneously as they pass down the streets. What we would call parade floats, the Japanese call dashi. These ornate hand-built floats are driven in the festival, each representing some aspect of the culture and history of Hanamaki. Friday night, the entire Hot Springs delegation was invited to march in the festival with members of the International Exchange Office. We weren't all quite sure of what we were supposed to be doing, but the spirit was definitely there. A few of us even got a crack at the drums. This mural represents Kenji Miyazawa's Night Train to the Milky Way. It only appears at night under certain lighting. The deer dancers, or shishi odori, are some of the most recognizable images from Hanamaki. Eight dancers make up each troupe, of which there are many. Each dancer wears an elaborate costume and headpiece that imitates a deer. The dancers' movements also imitate that of a deer. Originally, the dance was performed by a hunter after killing a deer in order to pacify its spirit. There's really nothing quite like seeing an entire street full of Shishiodori deer dancers performing in front of you. And undoubtedly, the image of a deer dancer is one of the most striking images to come out of Hanamaki.
The parade was unbelievable. The dances were great. The dances that we've seen over here had nothing. They couldn't even compare to what we saw in the street, how they worshipped. This one guy, he was the crow, and the dance was held around him.
Once again, the Hot Springs delegation had a great view, but this time from the sidelines rather than from the actual parade. The Hanamaki Festival can't be complete without the Mikoshi, best translated as portable shrine. Hundreds of the Mikoshi are hoisted up and paraded up and down the streets of Hanamaki during the festival. Today, different civic groups and businesses build and carry Mikoshi every year. Once again, on Saturday night, the Hanamaki Bayashi can be heard all over the city as the dashi take to the streets again. Well, it's not quite a hot dog stand. Street vendors are selling food at almost every street corner in Hanamaki. People line up for food such as okonomiyaki, which could best be described as a Japanese omelet. Although Dennis has probably made the trip to Hanamaki more times than anyone in Hot Springs, he says that the festival is something he'll never get tired of. And for the rest of us, it was definitely not an experience we'd soon or easily forget. Even though it was almost midnight, the festival was still in full swing. Unfortunately, we had a full day of travel ahead of us and decided it was time to head back to the hotel. There's really nothing in the United States that you could compare to a festival such as this, short of the Super Bowl parade, or maybe Macy's New Year's parade. All this in an area about the same size as Garland County in terms of population, about 75,000 people. It was almost unbelievable. So this was it. Our time was up, and in a few hours we'd be on a plane headed back to the States. Practically every person that we met in Hanamaki had shown up at the train station to see us off. The value of the relationship between Hot Springs and Hanamaki really isn't something that's easily expressed in words. Even with the advances in communication in recent years, the experience of totally immersing yourself in an entirely different culture is the surest way to develop an understanding of its people. Through this relationship, we've widened our scope of understanding. It's an education that will continue for years to come. Of course, we wouldn't be true Arkansans without leaving the Hanamaki residents a little something to remember us by.
I'd like to see more people from Hot Springs go to Hanamaki. Be sure you can walk or ride a bicycle, because there's a lot of cars, but most of the people do a lot of walking. All the children ride bicycles to school. There were hundreds of bikes parked at it was like a car garage where they parked their bicycles. That was something to see.
No, I just encourage everyone to consider a trip to Hanamaki, Japan, because traveling as part of a cultural exchange is far different than traveling as a tourist. And I think the experience will be more meaningful, and we'll have a lot of fun.
I guess unless you've really been there, you can't explain it. It's like trying to explain the Great Pyramids. You can't explain it until you experience it. Well, it's the same thing with going to Hanamaki. For any of our citizens going there, it's an incredible experience. The people of Hanamaki are extremely gracious and polite, and are truly overcome with joy whenever anyone from Hot Springs can visit their city. And in general, the Japanese people are gracious and polite, and there's a lot of differences between our two cultures, but getting to know each other, you find that there are some similarities, especially with Hanamaki. I'm sure you've heard, it's in the middle of the mountains or nearby mountains, and They have hot springs like we do. Their city's about 75,000 hot springs. Area is about 75,000. And of course, compared to most pictures you see of Japan as of Tokyo, Osaka, Yokohama, the big cities, so you see all these bustling people and trains and crowded cities, where Hanamaki's not like that. It's very relaxed. There's not the train system like you see in the big cities. Most people drive cars like we do here in our country. It's very laid back. It's very quiet. And I guess the biggest thing is just, for me, I've made relationships with some people that, I mean, it's beyond the Sister City program, where we're almost like family, to the point that they've made special trips here just to visit hot springs on their own time with my family. And it's the same thing when we've been there. We've stayed at their home as a homestay, and so it's not just the city bond that you get. You do develop some wonderful ties where they do become a part of your family.
But it's a really special thing to witness firsthand this sister city relationship. Not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people will do that. But anybody that has any kind of opportunity to participate, I would really encourage them to get involved. Whether it's a student, at Lakeside that wants to go over or whatever, or a family that wants to host someone from Japan or from Hanamaki, a kid that comes over, I would really encourage them to get into it. I think it's very, very worthwhile. To me, it is. You agree?
I agree.
Okay, good. Yeah.